What's up, YouTube? Welcome to my main page. Welcome to Magic. So today we're going to be looking at. Today we're going to be watching a video called "Disturbing Movies Based on Terrifying Real Events." Iceberg. So yeah, we're going to be looking at like some movies that's based on
music licensing reimagined.
I mean, before I looked at some of these movies, I thought they were all like fantasies. So it's crazy to like. I don't know, like when I found out about it, I was like probably like in the 2010s. I found out about it. I don't know the year, but so we're gonna be it's gonna be interesting to watch. So I hope you like, share, comment. This reaction video, and let's get into it. Let's go.
You know that feeling when you watch a horror movie and think, thank God that's not real? Well,
yeah.
What if I told you some of the most disturbing films ever made are based on things that actually happened? Now, this iceberg starts uncomfortable and ends with stuff I can barely talk about on YouTube. So before we start, I need to say this is all for educational purposes. We're going to treat these topics...
Yeah, so it looks like there's going to be some real disturbing, terrifying things. Maybe some of the stuff I'm going to have to blur out. I don't know, but we'll see when we get there.
With respect for the people
Let's get into it.
Alright, let's get into this.
Yeah.
Level 1. Open Water.
Open Water.
Open Water from 2003. This is a survival horror film shot on a tiny budget. And
I've never seen this movie. I might check it out if it's good. Well, I'll check out the trailer and see if it's good. Apparently, apparently this is 2003. Dang, I don't remember if I watched this movie, but yeah. Okay.
It's based on the disappearance of Tom and Eileen Lonergan in 1998. They were
really?
American tourists on a scuba diving trip off Australia's Great Barrier Reef. The boat left without them, just forgot they were down there. Tom was 33, Eileen was 28. They'd both graduated from Louisiana.
Yeah, so they're long past the college days. I mean, some people still go to college in their 40s, 50s, but you know, they graduated. They're at that when they graduated college. 33, 28. Yeah, I think you're like when you're like 33, you're like you done everything you could do in college. So they are, yeah.
Louisiana State University.
Yeah, so they are seasoned. They're veterans. They're old. They're getting old. You know, around that they're in their peak. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah.
And had just finished a 3-year stint with the Peace Corps in Fiji and Tuvalu. They were on their way to Hawaii to start their new life together when they stopped in Queensland for what was supposed to be a routine dive trip. January 25th, 1998. The boat was the MV Outer Edge, carrying 26 passengers that day. The Lonegans were experienced divers. They each had about 80 dives under their belts. The final dive sank.
So they experienced with diving. Okay.
Crispin's Reef started around 2:20 p.m. By 3:10 p.m., the boat left. No head count. Nobody noticed 2 people were missing. When the dive company realized...
That's crazy. To not, like... I gotta figure out what happened because... I mean, I'm just, like, no head count, which you're supposed to do, you know? In case, you know, someone gets left behind. You're supposed to count. So what happened?
Their mistake. 2 days later, they went back to search. Nothing. No bodies, no equipment, no trace. Tom and Eileen were never found.
What happened?
What makes it even more haunting.
Hold on.
About 6 months...
Okay.
people were missing. When the dive company realized their mistake 2 days later, nobody dives under their belts. The final dive at St. Crispin's Reef started around 2:20 p.m. By 3:10 p.m., the boat left. No head count. Nobody noticed 2 people were missing. When the dive company realized their mistake 2 days later, they went back to search. Nothing. No bodies, no equipment, no trace. Tom and Eileen were never found. But here's what makes it even more haunting. About 6 months later, a fisherman found a dive slate. That's like an underwater writing board. The message read, Monday, 26 Jan, 1998, 8 a.m. To anyone who can help us. We've been abandoned on Agincourt Reef by MV Outer Edge, 25 Jan, 1998.
I think. So they went on a like this tour, I guess, and with like 26 people, like 24 other people, and guess they got left behind. Guess they were supposed to get back to the certain time, I think. I think he's kind of skipping over what were they doing? I mean, well, he said they were diving, but were they given a time or something to get back? Well, I hope. It sounds like they didn't. Man, they just got left, cause I don't know, man. This is kind of like weird that. Did he say what time?
And Tuvalu. They were on their way to Hawaii to start their new life together when they stopped in Queensland for what was supposed to be a routine dive trip. January 25th, 1998. The boat was the MV Outer Edge, carrying 26 passengers that day. The Lonegans were experienced divers. They each had about 80 dives under their belts. The final dive at St. Crispin's Reef started around 2:20 p.m. By 3:10 p.m., the boat left. No head count. Nobody noticed p.m. By 3:10 p.m., the boat left. No head count. Nobody noticed 2 people were missing. When the dive company realized that...
Wait, so... were they warned? They didn't warn them? They didn't, supposed to be back by this time? Like, if that's the case, then that's crazy. And no head count. Yeah, man. This is on the company, because y'all didn't inform them that they were about to leave, or did they? I don't know, man. I don't know, which is kind of crazy. That's crazy. I need to know the full story.
Days later, they went back to search. Nothing. No bodies, no equipment, no trace. Tom and Eileen were never found. But here's what makes it even more haunting. About 6 months later, a fisherman found a dive slate. That's like an underwater writing board. The message read, Monday, 26 Jan, 1998, 8 a.m. To anyone who can help us. We've been abandoned on Agincourt Reef by MV Outer Edge, 25 Jan, 9...
And they felt like they'd been abandoned. Oh, man. So, the way he said abandoned means, they weren't given the time to get back. I guess everyone just showed up, and everyone showed up. It was like, there was no time given, so they just left. They didn't do no head count or nothing. That is wild, man. That is a crazy, crazy story to hear, and that someone found this message, man, showing that they were disappointed that they were been abandoned, man. I can feel their pain in these message.
1998, 3 p.m. Please help to rescue us before we die. Help. They survived at least until the next morning. Floating in shark-infested waters.
And shark-infested waters? Yeah, I'm thinking, they said shark-infested waters? Yeah, they got ate. They got ate by sharks. Yeah, okay, now, man, to be abandoned on a island or a coast or a reef in shark-infected waters, and the people who were supposed to make sure that everyone got on the boat didn't do their jobs, and you're stranded on a shark-infested waters. That's insane. That is insane, man. That's crazy. This is why I don't go near like oceans, because first of all, I can't swim. And second of all, you don't know what's hiding in the ocean. So, man, the fear, the pain, the sadness they must have went through is immeasurable.
Knowing nobody was coming. Some of their gear washed up weeks later. Eileen's wetsuit had tears in it. Experts thought it was maybe from coral.
They got ate by sharks. Sharks were hungry and they got ate. Man, that's crazy.
Maybe from something else. The exact cause of death is unknown. Dehydration, exposure, drowning, sharks, nobody knows.
All the
film
above.
is shot with real sharks, which makes it even more unsettling.
Yeah.
And unlike most survival stories, there's no Hollywood ending here. You watch these two people slowly realize they're going to die, and there's nothing they can do about it. The fact that this actually happened to real people makes it deeply disturbing. The boat captain was charged with manslaughter, but
as he should. He should have made sure that everyone was on the boat. They died because you didn't do your job. That's it. They died because you didn't do your job there, buddy. You should go to jail. You should get life in prison. Or maybe not life in prison, but at least like double-digit years.
His company pleaded guilty to negligence, paid a fine, and went out of business. Queensland introduced stricter regulations. Mandatory independent head counts by both captain and dive masters. No similar incidents have happened since.
Good. I mean,
The Conjuring.
I feel sad. I feel sad that happened to them. But man, I am just like this is why I can't trust people, even like experienced people, because sometimes y'all just let your guard down. You don't care, and you just be having a bad day and just like, screw it, I'm not doing nothing today. And somehow I pay for it by getting attacked by a lion or being in shark-infested waters. Like, sometimes you just can't trust people. Even experienced people just can't. The
Conjuring from 2013. This is interesting because
Sorry for that
similar
little rant.
incidents have happened since. The Conjuring from 2013. This is interesting because it's based on the case files of
Ed and Lorraine Warren and their ventures into the paranormal around the countries back in the day.
Those paranormal investigators. The film depicts the Perrin family who lived in this farmhouse in Rhode Island back in 1971 and experienced what they claimed was a haunting. The family swears this stuff happened. Andrea Perrin, one of the daughters, has written books about it. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the Perrin family genuinely experienced something that terrified them for years. The house is real. The Warrens' case files are real. The family's accounts are documented. The Warrens investigated hundreds of cases throughout their careers, some more credible than others.
Wow, man.
Investigated hundreds.
Man. Yeah, you wouldn't think that Ed and Lorraine would look like that after seeing the movie, but man. Like, I can't think if this is the real them, and like, man, it's crazy. I guess the movie kind of got me like tripping. I'm like, it was. This is I don't know what I'm saying. Let's just continue.
Hundreds of cases throughout their careers, some more credible than others. This one made enough of an impression that it became one of their most famous files. The family reported doors slamming, objects moving, apparitions, all the classic haunting stuff.
And I know I'm gonna sound like a broken record, if I heard all of this and I stayed in this house, that's on y'all, buddy. Like, cause real human beings would not be staying in the house where they hear noise and doors slamming on their own, and they knew their house was haunted. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I don't think any sane human being would do it. It's crazy, man. It's very
supernatural,
crazy.
so it's debatable whether any of it was actually paranormal or just psychological. Nobody actually lost their lives, but it's pretty spooky if you ask me. The fourth kind.
Oh, wait, so that was it? Yeah? That was... Nothing else to it?
The fourth
Crazy.
kind.
The fourth kind.
The fourth kind from 2009. This one claims to be based on real alien abduction cases from
this is an
Nome,
alien.
Alaska in 2000.
So this is an alien real event.
The film uses a mix of real footage and dramatized recreations starring Mila Jovovich. Here's the thing. The movie presents itself as a documentary about Dr. Abigail Tyler, a psychologist in Nome who recorded therapy sessions where patients described being visited by a white owl. Under hypnosis,
White owl.
they remembered something way darker, alien abductions. The film shows actual footage of these therapy sessions alongside the dramatized versions. People screaming, convulsing, speaking in Sumerian languages they shouldn't know. It's genuinely unsettling. Now, the truth,
man.
it's complicated.
Yeah, that sounds very much scary. Oof. Like they're being possessed by something. Oof.
The filmmakers claimed it was based on real events. Nome police came out and said there were no records of Dr. Abigail Tyler ever existing. No missing persons cases matching what the film described. The real footage was likely staged with actors. But here's what is real. Nome did have an unusually high number of disappearances between the 1960s and 2004. The FBI investigated. Most were attributed to alcohol-related deaths and accidents in harsh Alaskan conditions. The town
Makes
has
sense.
a dark history that the film exploited. So it's a film that presents itself as real, uses
But-
fake documentary.
So it's like it looks real, but those interviews are just like fake reels. Like they're like fake reels. Like they're fake. Like it's like someone filmed this with their recorder and said it's from the 2000s. So you know, I gotcha. So that's something to look into. So I
Footage
guess.
to seem credible, but is
Yes.
based on a real town with real tragedies.
Oh,
The
really?
blurred line between what's real and what's fabricated makes it seriously creepy. Level 2.
Level 2.
Zo-
Zodiac. Oh, we get into the Zodiac Killer.
Zodiac.
The Zodiac.
Zodiac.
I watched this movie. I really did. It's like, man, it ended on a real like. It ended on a, like, they thought they caught the killer, but they didn't. But they might have. So it's like a psychology kind of movie.
Zodiac from 2007. David
Horror,
Fincher's
psychology
meticulous
horror.
recreation of the hunt for the Zodiac Killer. This is one of the most famous unsolved cases in
Yeah.
American history. Late 1960s, early
Very
70s in
famous.
San Francisco. Someone is killing people and sending coded letters to
Letters.
newspapers. The
Yeah.
film is obsessively accurate. At least 5 people lost their lives between December 1968
Which
and
sucks.
October 1969. Though
Which
the real
sucks.
number is probably higher.
Higher
2
than
survived
that.
and gave descriptions. The Zodiac sent letters with ciphers to newspapers, taunting the police. One cipher was cracked in 1969, but
Really?
the others remain unsolved for decades. In 2020, amateur code breakers finally solved the 340-character cipher. 51 years later, the killer was never caught. We still
Really?
don't know who the Zodiac was.
Yeah,
What
that-
makes this unsettling?
And that's such a shame. We just don't know. Which is like, I hope like maybe a year from now, a year or 2 or 3 years from now, we find out who Zodiac killer is by testing blood and DNA and doing all this. I hope we do find out. Someday find out who is the Zodiac killer. That is like an answer question that's stumping. Like, this is in LA, right? This is stumping the people in LA. So, yeah.
Killing isn't graphic violence. Fincher actually restrains himself. It's the obsession, the paranoia, and the fact that this person just got away with it.
Got away
the
with
case
it,
is still open. Somewhere, the Zodiac either died quietly or is still out there.
Yeah, like, if this happened in like the 60s, he was like, timeline, he should be dead. So, if he was in his 20s, 60s, 60s, he'd be 50. If he was in his 20s in the 60s, like, looks like he was in his 30s, probably like 30s. So, he'd be 60 in like 1990. 70. He should be dead by now. He should be dead, man. Because this is 2026. He's gone. Either he died of sickness or just died of old age. But he like, if he's still living to this day, that's crazy.
Having never faced justice, the film follows Robert Gray.
Because ain't no way he's still, if he is, he's probably like in his 80s or like 90s.
A cartoonist at the
Or
San
like,
Francisco Chronicle who became
like 70s,
obsessed
80s, or
with solving
90s.
the case. His obsession destroyed his marriage and consumed years of his life. He spent years researching, tracking down leads, building timelines. His book became the definitive account of the case. Detective Dave Toshi was the lead investigator. He's the guy Steve McQueen based his character on in Bullet. Toshi worked the case for years. The stress destroyed him. He was eventually taken off the case. Arthur Lee Allen was the prime suspect, a convicted child molester who lived in Vallejo. The circumstantial evidence was overwhelming, but they could never prove it. Allen died in 1992 before DNA testing could definitively link him. Some people think he was the Zodiac. Others aren't convinced. The film captures that frustration perfectly.
Like, I don't know, man. I think he's guilty of something, but I don't know. Maybe the Zodiac killer could have been younger. I don't know. Could have been him, could have not been him. I don't know. But I don't think we'll ever know unless we do DNA testing or find some other machine we built that can do that.
You watch these investigators slowly losing their minds, trying to solve something that might be unsolvable. 127 hours.
127 hours.
James Franco plays Aaron Ralston, a hiker who went into a Utah canyon in 2003 and got his arm trapped under a boulder. He was stuck there for 5 days.
That is my biggest fear. Getting trapped in like a closed space, or like getting like my arm stuck, getting anything on any part of my stuck in like a door or like a rock, or that's one of my biggest fears. And I didn't watch this movie, but maybe one day I will sit down and just watch it, because this is a nightmare. I heard people talking about it. I haven't seen the trailers, but I heard that, man, this was hard. This was hard to watch.
127 hours with no way to call for help, no way to move the rock.
You're stuck.
Made the decision to amputate.
Yeah, this is the part. Like, man, cutting off your arm just to get out of the situation and surviving it. I think he survived this. I heard people say. But to survive this is like, you're brave, man. You got guts and you're brave.
His own arm with a dull multi-tool knife. Aaron Ralston is a real...
Especially the bones. She's gotta... My goodness. The pain and agony this man must have been in is undescribable, undeniable. It's just great. Man. Leaves you speechless, because he had to just, man, just like thinking about it, just like, I just can't think about it at this point. Let's get right. Let's just continue.
Person. This really happened in April 2003, April 26th to be exact. He was 27 years old, descending into Blue John Canyon in southeastern Utah. Around 2:45 p.m., an 800-pound boulder shifted and pinned his right arm against the canyon wall. He was trapped 100 feet below the desert surface,
and now he has
20 miles from the nearest paved road. He had a small amount of food and water. After he ran out, he drank his own urine to survive. He carved his name, date of
I guess you got to do what you have to do at that point.
Birth and presumed date of death into the canyon wall. He recorded goodbye messages to his family on his video camera. That footage exists. Ralston keeps it private, only showing it to his closest family and friends. Director Danny Boyle and James Franco.
Not everybody can watch that. Don't show it to just everybody, because my goodness, I don't think that is just like, if I saw that, I was like, nah, man, I can't watch that. So yeah.
Were the only outsiders allowed to see it. After 5 days, dehydrated and delirious, he broke his arm bones using the boulder's weight and had to cut through his arm.
That's pain. Yeah, and he broke his. Dang. He used the boulder to break his arm. Cut it. That is agonizing pain. The amount of agonizing pain he was in is. I can't. It's undescribable. It's very undescribable.
Each multi-tool, not a Leatherman. He said it was like what you'd get free with a $15 flashlight. He wrote a book about it. The amputation scene in the movie is horrific. It's hard to watch. Danny Boyle doesn't shy away from showing the reality of what Ralston had to do to survive. James Franco said he actually has a problem with seeing blood on his arms. So his reaction...
Bro. I just have a problem with just seeing blood in general. So if I see it, man, I'm wincing. I'm just like not.
During film,
just walking away from it. I just can't do it.
It was genuinely visceral. After freeing himself, Ralston had to rappel down a 65-foot wall with one arm, then hike about 6 miles. He encountered a Dutch family on vacation, Eric, Monique, and their son Andy, who gave him food and water and
Well, I'm glad he found someone to help him, because man, that's crazy.
For help. A rescue helicopter found him 4 hours after the amputation. He'd lost 40 pounds, including 25% of his blood volume. Ralston lived. He's still alive today, still hiking, still climbing. He became the first.
So that did not deter him from keep hiking. Couldn't be me, bro. Couldn't be me, dog. You built different. I'm not.
Person to solo climb all of Colorado's 14ers, peaks over 14,000 feet, in winter. He got married, had kids. His prosthetic arm is custom made with an ice pick attachment so he can keep climbing.
Cool. That is just like a story of pain. Not really giving up surviving, just endurance.
Artlist.io.
He did what he had to do to get free. And that is something I would do. But I'm gonna do that as a last resort. So, yeah.
Music licensing reimagined.
Well, I'm gonna do a part 2 to this. I'm getting tired, and it's getting about that time, so I will do this next week. So I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction video. I hope you like, share, enjoyed, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I will see y'all next time. Peace.
Music licensing reimagined.